Hi, Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today, we are checking out Stray Kids' Topline, and I'm not prepared for this. I just know that I'm not. Every time that I step into any kind of new Stray Kids song, let alone one that has a video, it comes for me, and I'm never quite prepared. I'm just jumping into this. Now, that being said, I know that there's a feature on this with Tiger JK, and the only thing that I know of him is that he was also a feature on Hoshi's Tiger, and that's the only thing I've heard of his in terms of music. And I know that Han is a big fan because I remember seeing the clip of the behind the scenes, I think, of this music video where he was having a successful fanboy moment. So that's like the extent of my knowledge. So I'm really not sure how he is going to incorporate into the sound in terms of what influence is his style going to have overall. But I'm excited to find out. And then we also have a music video to get to, which I am sure will be a lot. It'll be a lot to deal with, but that's okay. I don't know what's going on with these picture selections. Han kind of looks like he's trying to pick a fight. Bangchan looks a little bit like somebody hurt his feelings. I don't know what Hyunjin's trying to do, but it's very engrossing for him. I feel like everyone is living out a different story arc in these pictures, which, hey, go for it. I just feel like from the title, Topline, that this is going to be like braggadocious. It's gonna be cocky, and I'm not ready. Let you start with some distorted horns. Ooh, okay. Look, first off, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna need this a little bit louder if we're going in with this kind of energy. Them bringing in Karma is interesting. Karma keeps piling up we had with Han at the very beginning. But also, I really like, I like that we're starting with Han. Han has a certain energy to the way that he performs. So I like that we're starting off already with that, especially with the lyrics of "We draw a line, top line," like saying, "Who dares look down on us?" All of this energy of we're at the top of our game, right? And having Han introduce that with the kind of energy that he brings of just, he's very high energy in the way that he performs. And then having Changbin come in with that very specific emphasis on certain sounds and syllables. He really bites into certain sounds, and it has this kind of choppy but almost like a combativeness to it. So I like having that in it, and also some of the images that Han's part introduces, Changbin kind of elaborates in his verses, which is great. But these distorted horns that we got going on in the production, I like the bow your head and move along. Ooh, okay. I also love having, again, in terms of controlling the energy, right? We have Han to introduce the higher energy, Changbin to have that bite to his words, right? And then having Hyunjin come in, he has a very kind of laid back swagger to his, where it's like hey, I don't even have to worry about you. You're trailing behind us. You're not even worth the effort. We're not even in the same place, right? Having Changbin's line be like, "Hey, bow your head and move along. This isn't a fight you can win. So just bow out now while you can." And then having that very laid back delivery that we get with Hyunjin, the tense times of the past of being like, I see that as, hey, there was a time when we were trying to prove something. There was a time when we were really trying to get to the same level as other people. We were comparing ourselves to other people. We were working super hard to get to a point where we could be at the top of our game. But that's in the past. We're not there anymore. Who are you having a fight with? Because we're definitely not on the same level. I like the way that they're controlling the energy with the kind of minimal production in terms of just having a bass heavy beat to it, and then these like distorted horns layered in. With the like hi-hat sound too. Love that lower range. Ooh. I'm sorry, Christopher. I was gonna talk about the vocals. I just need to recalibrate. I was gonna talk, I like getting some lower range from Seungmin, especially again, controlling the energy of this, staying in that lower part and then rising up, right? We got that jump into Lino and then Ian kind of having a little bit more of a higher part of his range. Definitely not anywhere near a stretch of his range, but a little bit higher up in it to again, control the energy of that. And then Bangtan coming in for that line. I'm just gonna have to reset before that pre-chorus. Okay. We've upgraded some of the language we're trying to get away with. I like that I'm dancing on the thin line is a good image.
Give a fuck.
Ooh, catchy. Ooh, okay. Not to interrupt you, sir. Just a few thoughts. I like that we're bringing in, so we had Han doing part of the chorus at the very beginning, but I like getting Changbin into it because a different energy, again, a little more like aggression to the way that he delivers. I also love the Felix's part, a little like kind of catchy part in the middle, but also I feel like, again, there's this kind of swagger to that delivery of just having this almost like booming sound and catchiness and not really needing to like say much, right? Because it's they said what they needed to in the verses, and then having this moment of just, what are you going to do about it, right? This song is going to be super catchy and it's going to be a hit and we're just going to drown you out with our success. Like, it has that feeling to it. And also when they had the top line where they were all singing together, I like that you can the mixture of kind of voices in that, because you have some of the cleaner delivery voices and then you have some of those more like grittier voices. I could definitely hear like Felix's voice that he's like really good at putting in. There's a ton of like vocal fry, like distortion in the way that he delivers it that just adds this, again, like aggressive edge to the way that they're delivering that line. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a horn, like a siren almost sounding. Ooh, with the ticking sound there too? Okay, sir, hats off to you. Great flow there. Look, the moment that someone was like, hey, Han's a big fan, I'm like, he's gotta be good, right? Again, I've heard him at least feature on one song, and I did really like his verse on Tiger, so I was like, hey, chances are he's probably pretty good at this. I just haven't heard anything else from him, so I can't really go into that. But I love how, again, he hits certain sounds specifically. We've got all these T sounds, TD sounds, so this very sharp right? They're stops. If I can be a bit of a language nerd, we've got quite a few stops that are happening here. T's, D's, K's, even G. So like gravity, right? So having these kind of cut off sounds, so that's basically what a stop means. Having that kind of cadence in it where he can hit those certain sounds that have a very sharper cutoff in the sound overall helps him have these stop points in his lines, but also having kind of this more laid back flow in between it. He has these specific parts that he hits really hard, but then the rest of it, he lays back a little bit. And I really like that in terms of delivery. In terms of lyrics, I like the one where he got to some of the onomatopoeia parts, but I like that this eternal moment never detours. That's really cool. Of, hey, you can say it's like a one-time chance. We're talking about success or being at the top of your game. And it's okay, you can say that this is a one-time thing, except it isn't, right? Like, this isn't a fluke. I didn't get successful because I was lucky. I got successful because I worked super hard and I got to this point, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna defend the fact that I deserve to be here. But this, I nod to the top line, and then it's we skedaddle, and then intoxicated, razzle dazzle. I just like the again, onomatopoeia of that, but also this feeling of not taking it seriously, right? Like when people kind of challenge you in your success or say, it's one thing to be like braggadocious and say, oh, we're at the top of our game, we're the best of the best, people look up to us. You can say that. It's another thing to actually be that. And I think that this line has that kind of flippant feeling of, they were talking about in previous verses with Stray Kids verses, of saying like, this isn't even worth fighting about because we're not on the same level. You can be upset as much as you want and say that I'm not at the top of my game, that I'm not as good as people say, but it doesn't change anything, right? Like, it's just noise and it's not actually accurate to reality. Great. I'm gonna go back and listen to his verse though, because great delivery with it, and I think that he brings a good energy to the song. I think he fits in really well to this almost like more kind of stripped back in terms of being like very rhythm section heavy in terms of the production, and then having these interesting like horn elements, and I'm saying almost like this siren or like warning sound, and I don't know if it's just like the horn sample that they're using and the way that it's distorted, but it has this feeling of almost like a warning signal, which I think is a fun thing to put into the production of this song specifically, of hey, here's a little warning of who you're picking a fight with, maybe rethink it. I love that pause in the production too. I love all the vocals samples in the mixing too. I love that time travel. Ooh, I still haven't reached my standards. Hey, we're still growing, right? Sir. Look at me now, how about now you can't deny, but we're still running on this way cause I'm never satisfied. 이미 야만한 사람 다 그러겠지만 the reason why 아직 내 기초 몸을 지쳤어 여전히 kept my speed on top. Ain't nobody can do it like this. 우리를 따라올라 멀었다 but 나 거기 attention 여전히 넘쳐 passion 뒤에서 이만한 대소라고 내 뱉음 대답은 널 탱이가 없어. Ooh, wait, hang on. The delivery, again, in contrast to Hyunjin earlier in the song, the way that he has shifted his energy to between like his first part in this song to this one of like, again, picking out certain sounds, but very different, right? I think that it's really interesting to see how some of the rap cadences, how they pick like certain sounds that they're emphasizing to hit a lot harder than other ones as part of kind of like why they're having certain sounds put together and to create the rhythm that they want for their flow. But the way that they hit them is very different. And like Hyunjin like elongating certain things, right? The hurry, right? Elongating that, saying I'm so proud from behind my back. Dang, that as a quote, I can interpret that a couple of different ways. My first thought of hearing that is when people try to tear you down, right? Because we had the look at me now with Han, right? Saying, hey, you can't argue that I'm not a contender, right? Like you can't say that I'm not successful. There's too much proof in front of you. And then having this of I'm so proud said behind my back, I think of it as people who have judged and maybe torn you down or maybe looked down at you at a previous time and be like, you're not talented enough. You're not going to make it. This is a ridiculous thing to focus in on and to devote this much energy into. You should try something else. People who have those kind of observations earlier on in anyone's career, but I know Stray Kids definitely had to scrape together everything that they got, right? This is not something that has been handed to them. This is something that they have like held onto by their fingertips for a while before getting to this point. Having someone have all that judgment for you, and then the moment that you're successful and you're ahead of them, suddenly, oh, I'm so proud of them. I knew all along. Those people who are like, suddenly they want to be your friend because you have the success to pull them up by association. And that's what it makes me think of. Is that what it actually is? I don't know. But that was my interpretation. I love I still haven't reached my standards. Great line. I love the little like key sound almost. Christopher. Okay, Lino. I love the haha hotline too. That's cute. The laugh in there. Ooh. Sample. I was gonna say I like the cadence, and then your neck must be stiff from always looking up at us. Dang, that must be so difficult for you. But then that like, ow. I like a little bit of humor. I love the collective vocals too. Gonna play us out. Ooh, that almost wind down at the end there too. Dang. Dang. There were some lines in this song. Hey, if the shoe fits, right? No lies detected from me. But okay, one thing though. While he did make an impact, I would have liked some more lines from Bangchan and Felix. Their parts were good. Felix got like, I feel like a little bit more. Bangchan got the line in the pre-chorus, and he got a couple of chorus lines. And I know that he's okay with that, okay? We all know that our leader is all right with stepping back and letting the rest of the group do their thing. I get that, but I do like hearing his voice. It's very nice. That being said, he did make an impact, so hey, I'm worried about this visual even more than I was before though, because if this is the energy we're getting from the song, I don't know if I can take a visual along with that, but we have to watch it, right? At this point, we might as well. I don't know why we're starting with Burning Money, but given the energy of this song, kind of fits. Sir, first off, fit. Sir, I'm gonna need you to not be like that. But also, before I got distracted by visuals, I was thinking, because the warehouse, bills, Burning Money, anyone else getting Joker circa Dark Knight? Which also makes me worried about where we're going with this. But sir, I'm gonna need you to not smoothly sit down like that on the edge of a truck. Mostly because I get worried. No, don't look at me like that. Sorry, Felix, what? Oh, are we like... Are we doing crimes? I'm sorry, I just noticed that. Are we literally laundering money because of laundry? Look, I'm gonna need all of y'all to calm down. We're only 30 seconds into this. No, I don't even want to talk to you. Ooh, cool shot. Oh, no. Absolutely not with that outfit. That was a cool shot over the magazine comic. Covering his mouth. Censorship. No, I don't want to talk to you, Felix, in that outfit. Okay, again, forgive me for interrupting, but the fits, and I also like that they have the red accents in it because we have the red line reference in the lyrics, so I like bringing that in. Also, hey, it feels a little bit classic Stray Kids to have the monochrome with red accents. Maybe that's just me. There was a certain era of that, and it just harkens back to that in a way that I adore, obviously with a bit of an upgrade. I am nervous about them like being on top of these drugs though. The fact that you got some of the members to do that is a little bit shocking to me. I like these aspect ratio changes too. I like the energy we're bringing. Ooh, the time travel with the watch. Sir. No. Hyunjin, looking like this, about to perform the way that you are, stop. I need Han to dial back some of the charisma and to stop being on top of objects that are not meant to support human beings, okay? It's stressing me out. Is it stressing him out in the behind the scenes? He's doing great in terms of covering it up, if it is. But sir, I worry. Like, are you sure? I've heard the lyrics. What is Spike doing in the back? I was like temporarily distracted. I was like, oh, Sungmin looks great here. And then I look over, Spike's giggling to himself reading a comic. Weren't you in the car? What? No, because you got you over here too. Why does Christopher have gasoline? They do like little pyro, don't they? Okay, look, Felix, please. I like that they're just like having some fun with this. There's like chaos happening, crimes, but also like it's just them like chilling out and having fun. I'm a little bit, is there choreo to this? Because we're not getting to see any of it. So I'm assuming like maybe at this point there wasn't, or they weren't giving it away, but it's fun to just see them goofing around. There are few. Isn't Freeze also one where they're also doing crimes and there isn't choreo? I'm also nervous about you being underneath that forklift. The freeze frame. He really just out here looking like that, huh? No. Absolutely not. We don't need like a roll call, especially not. What? Wait. What are we doing, sir? Look, there are moments in this where I would just look over and Bangchan is just having the best time. He just got a big smile. He's laughing to himself reading comics. He's gleefully lighting money on fire. He's trying to get past the censorship. He's making whatever we're doing here. Everyone else looking serious. And then look, for all of me being like, hey, I wish he had some more lines to sing in this. He's just vibing throughout this whole thing. He's having a blast. But you know what? Powerful image there. I feel like if there had been choreo, I would have suffered more with the visuals. But don't be wrong, the visuals were visualing. It was a little bit difficult to take all of it in. But I also just like that some of their humor came out in the song as well, in terms of their delivery and some of the little things that they put into it, especially with the vocal sampling in some of the background of the production. And then also having having a little bit of that coming through in the video. Yes, it is a flex, and it is has a certain swagger and braggadocious feeling to it, but there's also this kind of like cheeky humor that I really like about their songs in general. This is obviously not swinging as much as some of their songs where they can get fairly ridiculous with the kind of things that they're singing or performing, but it has a little bit of that in there because, like I was saying in the actual song, of them saying like, this isn't even serious. Like, you can't be serious about saying that I'm not at the level that I am. There's too much proof that they are in fact very successful. So this has to be a joke, right? It has that kind of feeling to it. And some of the performance in this of them just having fun and hanging out and having a laid back feeling to them is we can't be taking this seriously because it's ridiculous. Just a fun song overall. Definitely putting it on my playlist. The production alone, great song as expected. I always like when Stray Kids has some bite to them. As much as I like some of their sweeter songs, as much as I like some of their ridiculous songs that are a little bit more on that cheeky side of their delivery, or just like powerhouses where they just go full out on the energy. We had a lot of that with S-Class where they were just like full tilt. They just like went for it with that one. Whereas this one where it's them having a moment of biting back, I always like, because I know that they've dealt with stuff. I know some of the things that they've had to deal with, and I like when they're just like, and you can be as mad as you want. It doesn't change the fact that we are in fact super successful, and we're successful because we're actually good at this. I like the confidence coming through that isn't just a fake it till you make it, or they've always been really good about the way that they write those lyrics, of it being from this place of, yes, we are good, we are successful, but even the line of we're not cocky, even them putting that in, I think is a good summary of how they usually go about lyrics like that, because it doesn't have this feeling of we're just gonna say a bunch of things that are us bragging about stuff. It's always with this current of it is in fact true, and we've gotten to this because we've worked super hard, and we're gonna continue to work super hard. This isn't us stopping. This isn't us packing it in, right? And I think the fact that they continue to put out songs that like outchart themselves and continue to be like do interesting things in terms of the production or the way that they're choosing to use their voices, listening to some of the stuff that they listening to this and some of the ways that they're playing with their voice, go back a couple of albums and listen, and you can see the way that they continue to see how they can stretch their voices and try out new things. And I always love getting to see that. Hey, I'm gonna listen to this song a lot. I always like a good confidence song, especially from Stray Kids, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Stray Kids reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.